what's going on. And I think 2 weeks or 1 month ago, that issue that maybe you are discussing about completion rates, and I saw an article which was insinuating that the students are taking longer, especially at PhD level. I wouldn't want to imagine at this particular level that you would want to be a local researcher. And based on your title and your outcome variable, the completion rates, you realize that maybe you need to go the national way, and you do a national study. I mean, you don't lose anything, and it is not as complicated as you would want us to look at it. One looking at your unit of analysis will be completion rates, because you see here, you may be interested to know, maybe in MUST, for example, and based on, and I think Dr. Nganyif is here, and we as in economics of education, how do you measure completion rates? I believe there's a formula, or there's a way you can be able to measure it. So it means the mean years of completion in a given institution. So you can be able to see your unit of analysis as such. Then it requires that you use your unit of analysis at university level. So as I stand, maybe there are just 35 or 36 public universities, and there are also almost an equivalent number, and I don't even understand why you are leaving the private universities, because it would be a nice study to look at maybe the governance structures, as you say, from your explanatory variable, and maybe how the completion rates differ. Because when you look at the public versus private, for example, and a good example would be, maybe you take, and this is at undergraduate level, you look at Mount Kenya University, and they are telling you, when you look at the advancements, they are telling you you can be able to complete a degree, an undergraduate degree, in 3 years or in 3 academic years. While in public universities, maybe most of them are doing it at 4 years, and so on. So those governance structures may differ from one university to another, although maybe with very little variance. But when you look at it from the national perspective, then you can be able to get it. So I don't understand why you are still defending that fact. And at this particular level, it's not just interviews that you are interested in to generate data for your explanatory variable. There could be other ways, because when you do content analysis of the various policies that are available in relation to the postgraduate students, then you can easily sample a few things that you can be able to use and generate data for your study. And I also want to agree with what Dr. Buhere has said, because you see, doctoral and master level studies have different requirements. So the completion rates may differ from one way or another. So maybe you would opt maybe to look at it from the master's point of view or the doctoral point of view, so that you are focused. And who knows, Machogu or any other person may invite you as to give us a solution to the problems that the PhD students have been going through, so that we can enhance their completion rates. As you say, is a requirement that we need those people in the higher learning. Thank you, Chair, and I think that would be my contribution.
Thank you very much. That's a nice contribution. I don't know whether you would want Musasia to respond to anything, but it's very rich input. Musasia, if Kariuki has found that universities with good governance structures have high completion rates, why do you want to go and study the same thing? We already have it from Kariuki's work, and you have said it in your background. That's number one. Don't waste resources to go and study what we already know. 2, is supervision a governance issue? When we assign you 2 supervisors at the department, is that a governance issue that you're going to study at deans, at registrars, at vice chancellors' issues? So if supervision is your objective, is it stemming from your study? Is it a subset of your variables actually? And then your conceptual framework suggests a mediation model. Do you have a mediation model for this study? You have mediating variables, and your arrow suggests that you need a mediation model. So you had better prepare for a mediation model or change your conceptual framework appropriately. And then who are your respondents? UMB or graduates? Or graduates? Yeah, who are your respondents? And then lastly, we have been longing for a study that has talked to people who have graduated. I would like you to talk to Livanze, for instance, and ask Livanze, you did a PhD in 4 years. Why did you do that in 4 years and not 3 years? I would like you to talk to Manyumba. I would like you to talk to Phyllis Wafula. I would like you to talk to people who have left. Those who have graduated, how many years did they take? And I'm looking at that as a very nice, either qualitative or quantitative. Maybe qualitative would be better, so that we get fresh information from the guys who have left. What is it? And you can have objectives as at student level, at individual student level. There could be issues at Livanze level that made him to graduate in 4 years. Maybe he had issues at individual level. So individual student or graduate level can answer some of those things. Then we have supervisor level. Yeah, you ask the students, they will tell you whether their supervisors caused that delay. And then you can have another probably at university-wide level. Is it a university problem, or is it a governance issue, or these processes, the processes themselves are too lengthy? Is it a DPS issue, for instance? Candidates can tell you that my work went to DPS and it stayed there for 3 months and DPS never said anything. So I would really love to hear from those who have graduated. So I think that if you calibrated your study and probably change it to a very nice qualitative study that looks at people who have graduated, and there is very nice guidance that with at least 40 IDIs, that's in-depth interviews, you can reach saturation. So you just need about 40 PhD guys who have left, and you talk to them qualitatively, and you are home and dry. Yeah, so consider those things, but you can answer some of those questions I've raised, and then we'll open up for one more, then we move to Cyrus. I can see Cyrus is back.
Chair.
Yes.
As he responds, maybe Jaonga would be of much help to Musasia, because Jaonga would be doing a similar thing, looking at guys who have left in National Polytechnic, tracing them, and now finding out what they went through in those polytechnics and their labor market outcomes, So it might not necessarily even be a qualitative. It can be both qualitative and quantitative. And Musasia can go to MUST, for example, and look within a given period which students have graduated in the various programs, and follow them, and maybe delve into the issues that you have raised.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Msera. And now that Wilberforce is here, maybe I can give him 1 minute or two to just tell us how he has gone about this tracer study, and whether he can speak to Musasia's study. Wilberforce.
Thank you, Chair. It's a complex one, but maybe I'll just ask him to, based on the advice that he has received very adequately, I had put a question on the chat because I was actually asking myself, how is it that if, say, you taking information from public universities that have similar governance structures, would there be any expected difference in outcome, and what would that portend to the outcome, as it were? because there need to be some variation in terms of the governance structures. Either they are, as you have rightly put it, they are public universities, then the specific governance structures that he's talking about. So I don't know. For me, I think I'm trying to mine is young Wingali Mbichi, but I'm looking at the graduates themselves, not the institutions. Although there's a part where the institutions may have a part in terms of trying to get the labor market outcome of these students. So for us as PhD students, it is true that there are many things that affect our graduation rates. So, I don't know how the institution comes in. Maybe if we were asked, we would have a better view of exactly what is happening. Then now we can say, yeah, it is the university. Then now we can ask the university to confirm that this issue, is it a governance issue or it is the student-based issue that is causing the delay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Pastor Jahonga. Any other comment? One last one, then we go to Cyrus.
Chair, informed Aradi is in, following through a phone. If he can be allowed to complete his presentation, that will be good. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Msasia, you'll get all our comments from Dr. Msera, from Pastor Wilberforce, from myself, and from your reviewer for enriching your proposal. Let's therefore go down to Aradi, Dr. Wekulo.